We're going to make a boneless veal chop with tomato sauce, fresh tomato sauce. You can use your tomato sauce, but if you look at my video for fresh tomato sauce, it works very well. And then we're going to have all of this sauteed with sundried tomato, olives, prosciutto ham, garlic, mushrooms, a little crushed red pepper flakes, a very fresh dry oregano, and some pecorino romano cheese. So we'll put that together. So let's just go about getting everything ready. And the garlic, you could chop it fine, or you can have pieces like this, or you can just cut the garlic in half so you have big pieces. And the mushrooms we're going to slice. And this is all going to be done together, cooked together, so we just pile it up. And the onions, just julienne the onions up. And the last thing we have to do, after all that's done, is take the veal. And this is, like I said, this is boneless veal chops. And we're going to make strips because we're going to have this with pasta. So after you make strips like so of the veal, we're going to season it, flour it, saute it, then saute everything, and then put it together with the tomato sauce and some cognac and the seasonings. It'll be a delicious dish. Aside from the items that we're going to cook, we also have to get the prosciutto ready. So I folded it and just made very thin slices like so. And we're going to add this at the very end. And then we have the olives and the sun-dried tomato. These sun-dried tomatoes have been soaked already, so they're soft. So you want to do the same thing. You can dice them. We'll make julienne like so. And the olives, I just cut the pitted olives in half. You can cut them in quarters too. So this is all together here. That'll be ready at the very end. Tomato sauce is already over there, hot. So this won't take long. You could always cut all of this up the day before. When you come home, this shouldn't take more than 20 minutes to finish. First I'm going to saute the veal. So we're using about 2 tablespoons of butter with about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. This will keep the butter from burning, and we'll have a nice flavor with the both. So we'll let this get hot a little bit, and we're going to take the veal and get a little flour. Not much. I'm going to season the veal while it's sauteing. Meanwhile, we want to flour it. See, if I season it here, I'm going to lose the seasoning into the flour, I'm sure. So I will wait and season it. I'm just lightly dusting it. I don't feel like touching it and have it all over my fingers. And what's going to happen is the flour will also act as the roux and will thicken up the sauce. Not that the tomato sauce needs to be thicker. Now we'll just take the veal. We don't have excess. I put just enough in there. As you see, there's no more flour left. Now I can put the oregano, and I'm putting the red pepper flakes. And that's a dry oregano. You can use fresh. This happens to be a very good one. I go to a place that has that specializes in shipping fresh herbs. I mean dry herbs. And every time I open up one of them, very powerful. Not like in the supermarket where you don't know how long it's been sitting on the shelf in the supermarket or back at the warehouse, wherever it came from. So we're going to quickly, on a high flame, get this browned up a little, take it out, and then we'll saute the vegetables. And we'll put a little bit of my salt and pepper mix. That's good to have. Sprinkle that. And if you don't want to use salt, don't forget I'm cooking this for somebody else, so I'm using salt. If I was cooking it for me, I would put just a drop of salt in there, and the herbs and pepper is good enough for me, plus the tomato sauce. And this veal, this is more tender using a boneless veal chop than using the top round, which they usually slice for when you buy scallopini. So this can be thicker and still be nice and tender. Of course, it's more costly, so you can use strips. You can buy veal scallopini and just cut the strips. And that's enough cooking right there. I'm going to take that out. Keep the flame high. Because this is only going to take a few minutes once everything is put together. And then you'll serve it. Or you leave the veal like this, make everything else ready, and then you just drop the veal in. Now this may seem like a lot of onions and mushrooms, but watch what happens. I don't think most people put enough onions in when they're cooking. They don't realize it shrinks. And this we're going to season also. Everything is always seasoned. Because if you don't season it, what happens is whatever flavor is in something else will be pulled out by this. And then it will be bland. Now I lowered the flame. This will take a few minutes. I want the onions translucent. I'm not looking to brown anything. So this has been cooking lightly here for about 3-4 minutes. Now I'm going to add the red wine, and don't use cooking wines. They're just horrible tasting. Doesn't help the dish at all. This is a Cabernet Sauvignon. let that simmer there for a few minutes. Put a lid on it. The moisture will stay in there. And we're getting very close to the finish of this dish. The next step is going to be to add the tomato sauce, the diced up sun-dried with the olives and the prosciutto, and then we're done. After we put the veal back in there and let it simmer for just 2 minutes. And the flavors of the veal, the way it was seasoned, should go right into the sauce. That way we do need a couple of minutes for it to finish up. See, with the cover on, all the moisture stays in there. To make sure everything is cooked. That's good. Use your favorite mushroom. These happen to be cremini. Now I'm going to put the that in there and get the tomato sauce. Nice and hot. Put the veal. 3 people can enjoy this meal. There's enough veal. You're going to serve this right over pasta. Almost done. Raise the flame a little. I have to mark down on my recipe how much I used of the tomato sauce, because as you know, as I make these recipes, I make them on the fly as I go. I'm going to put in there also 1 nice tablespoon of cognac. And to help things out with the color and the richness, heavy cream. Now that I will taste in about a minute. Really, this has to go over pasta. It's not, I won't make a spaghetti with this. I'll make like a rigatoni or bow ties, fusilli, something that really, you can eat everything with just a spoon. Goes down easier. I'll wait 2 seconds, let it come to a boil and simmer a little bit, then we'll give it a taste. But how's that texture and everything? And The ratio of solid to liquid is just fine. But actually, this is only enough for 2 people, that 1 second. Because once you start eating an item like this, you want more. Well, at least if there were 2 people here like me, that would be just enough. Or 4 slim women, it would be just fine. So we'll let that come to a little simmer for a couple of minutes. Get my spoon. Hopefully I didn't forget anything that was supposed to be in this dish. The simmer is good. I don't have to taste the veal or anything else in there. All I have to do is taste the sauce, and that'll tell you if the dish will be tasty or not. That's what I do all the time when I eat out. The first thing I taste on the plate is the sauce or the dressing. Actually, that's only enough for me. That really tastes good. The pepper is just enough. You feel it in your throat. There's enough salt. Fresh tomato sauce always helps. And then the tender veal that's in there. So you're done. Push this off to the side. Cook your pasta. Just warm this slightly and serve. Maybe a little chopped parsley on top or something. Anyway, that's that lovely tender veal with tomato, a little cream, and the rest of the ingredients. Enjoy. Of course, I forgot an item. The juice from the olives has a nice flavor. And I'm putting that in there now. It doesn't affect anything except the taste. It didn't matter that it was in there at the last moment or early on. Great. Enjoy.